A man will choose a woman that is his complementary opposite. A man who is naturally very masculine will be attracted to a very feminine woman and vice versa. So men, if you're looking or wanting a very feminine woman, it's time to up your masculinity.
A lot of women out here that get past 30 and realize, damn, I miss my motherfucking man. I'm single. I have no man. I'm sitting out here trying to act like I'm a boss man in front of all these dang young women, but really I'm at home. They want to hug. They by themselves. They struggling. They struggling because it's hard to be single.
Why do you look like you're miserable? Huh?
Because you make me feel like the man.
Why?
You made me get the tickets. You made me talk to the agent because you didn't want to ask which line it was. We're staying in my house. And then you're like, I don't want to go up. I have anxiety. Like, I feel like man in the relationship and it gives me the ick, like, genuinely.
You still love me, though?
Yes, I still love you.
I'm getting the Dolly tickets
But it's hard for
tomorrow.
me to act like I'm not mad when I am. I can't fake it, so...
A lot of these gentlemen that y'all are looking for have gone extinct. They're gone extinct according, as far as you're concerned, because you don't know how to handle a man. So I'm not going to be on your face because you're trying to do me wrong, and I don't have time for that.
What is the most unexpected insight from strangers that you're getting?
Really hot men are actually scared of rejection. The guy that I interviewed that looks like Pedro Pascal, he doesn't know that he's like as hot as he is, and he will not approach a hot woman.
What's your approaching game nowadays?
It's non-existent.
Why don't you approach girls in like real time?
I don't want to get rejected.
We think they're all confident and stuff and whatever. Men lack confidence these days because they don't understand the concept of rejection.
You need to shoot your shot. Like, who gives a no big deal, on to the next.
Deal.
I can tell you how many times I defended a bitch's character for her to turn around and do me dirty. Especially like doing the same old to me. Like, here I thought you were a good person. You played a really good role. You played it up. And this whole time you were really that sneak. And here I am looking like a fool because I want to see the best in people and I'm empathetic. And here I am bending over backwards for someone who wouldn't even bat an eye when it comes to doing me dirty. Like, is there any good people left? Is there anyone good left in this world? Asking for a friend.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
You need to change your mindset as a man. When you hear no, you need to translate it to next. The biggest challenges that men face today is that they're afraid of rejection. So what happens is that because they're afraid of being rejected, they just don't approach that many women. When you hear no and when you face rejection as a man, you simply just need to tell yourself that you're at the wrong place. If this woman tells you no, it means next. If this woman is not right for you, maybe she's not compliant, like my previous points. Maybe she's not compliant. Maybe she can't follow your dreams. Maybe she's not as motivational enough as you want. Maybe she just stops respecting you. It's time to hop onto the next. I'm going to keep it real with you. As a man, you can't just have one option. That's stupid. Ask any smart investment manager at any bank or any investment firm. One woman is just not enough. I'm going to sound really toxic by saying this, but it just does not make sense.
A man, he's not afraid to shoot a shot, right? It's just that you guys be trying to humiliate people. Not only in a local space, in a public setting, but y'all be trying to do it all over the internet. And a man is saying, no, I don't have time for that, man.
The fastest way to detach from someone you really love is by letting them do what they want to do. So you can see what they would rather do. If they want to lose you, let them. If they want to choose someone else over you, let them. If they can picture their life without you, let them. You don't know how much time and energy you are wasting being hyper fixated on what you cannot control. You can't force someone see your value. You can choose not to allow others to dictate your worth. Stop tying your happiness to other people's actions.
You know, men will do a lot for you. A lot of these things that you're asking, they'll do it. but they'll start doing it. But then once they figure out, oh, she don't really respect me, that's when they start to pull back, and you be like, he was doing these things in the beginning. Well, did you look at your own behavior and see what you was doing or not doing?
This is going to trigger a lot of women. And if it triggers you, that means it was meant for you. I don't avoid the truth just because someone's ego is not ready to take it. A lot of women proudly say I have standards, but what they really mean is, I want a man who gives me everything while I give the bare minimum. You want a man who's emotionally mature, financially stable, loyal, masculine, emotionally intelligent, while you can't handle accountability. You don't know how to communicate. You expect him to read your mind. You don't want a partnership. You want a provider, a therapist, a mind reader, all in one man. You demand emotional maturity where you get defensive the moment you're called out. You want consistency, but chase men who give you anxiety because chaos feels exciting. You say you want a masculine leader, but reject anything that requires you to show up feminine. You call it high standards, but it's really just entitlement. Standards aren't about what you demand from others. Standards are about what you demand from yourself. If you want emotional maturity, heal your triggers. If you want consistency, stop entertaining inconsistency. If you want depth, stop showing up shallow. If you want leadership, be someone worth leading. And that's why you keep getting hurt. Not because good men don't exist, but because you're not the woman your ideal man would choose. Build your standards on your character, not fantasies. Because when you call entitlement empowerment or feminism, it's not confidence, it's delusion.
Getting called a creep for being polite, for showing interest in the polite way is crazy work. It's crazy work. And y'all gonna be asking, how come I can't get a man to look at me, come up to me, and all that other nonsense? Maybe some self-reflection here would be great.
Sometimes all he will ever be is a really good boyfriend. But that is his max. Do not expect him to be your husband. And do not take it personally. It has nothing to do with you. Hello, my name is Carlin. Restoring Healthy Mindsets is my thing, and we talk all things womanhood, dating, marriage, relationships, and now motherhood. I was on a one-on-one call with one of my students, and she's at a point right now where she's reached her max in dating this awesome gentleman. He's an amazing boyfriend, and they have a great relationship. And we keep bumping into the same question. Why hasn't he asked the question yet? Why hasn't he proposed? And then I had an epiphany. I'm like, why haven't I made a video on this? Because you're probably in a relationship right now that's like this, or have been in one before meeting your husband, where the guy you are with is great boyfriend material, but his fear of commitment or past trauma won't let him fully commit. And it has nothing to do with you. I know I normally says men know when they know, because they know, right? However, there is a big group of men who are just really good boyfriends, and that's what they will always be. And it's up to us to decide what we are going to follow and listen to. His words of one day we will, I wanted to, but I didn't because I'm scared because my parents XYZ. So if you find yourself in this position, this is what I want you to do. I need you to ask yourself, how much longer can I be with this person in this state of limbo? Because you're putting yourself in the biggest risk by being with someone that has no legal commitment when you want to grow a family. And I always say the biggest timeline should always be 2 years. After you spend more time with this man for 2 years, you're wasting time you do not have. If you find yourself in this situation and you want to know my thoughts and you want some advice, I always offer one-on-one calls. As always, ladies, be wise.
Once again, these modern women, they don't really truly understand that their mouth is the thing that's getting them in trouble. You not liking what I do, or voicing your opinion in disagreement, that's one thing. For you to think that you're superior to me, for you to sit up here and mock me, especially when I'm trying to open up to you, is another thing.
I'm old school, traditional. I like to be chivalrous. You know what I mean? I like that idea of taking the woman out and going out, paying for the dinner, hoping that my credit card don't bounce. You know what I mean? But no, all those things are cool. But I love this trend though too, because I think it's also flipping the script on this new wokeness or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? They putting the mirror in the face, making fun of it, and saying, "Hey, I'm the soft guy. Do all these things." Because I think when you put the face, or when you flip the mirror on them, I think it makes them realize, and when I say them, meaning the movement, makes them realize how silly it is. Like we all like the way it used to be, right? Take me out to dinner, buy my dinner, let's make some, you know, some love. You know what I mean?
When Joe and I first started dating, you know, this is when we started getting more serious. I actually saved some money and we went on a trip together, and I actually took him to Spain.
Ooh.
And because I grew up in Spain, and I wanted him to experience what I grew up in, the culture that I grew up with, and I wanted him to get to know, and I wanted him to learn about Spain. Yeah, and I took him on a trip, and I was like, I'm taking you to Spain. And it was like, I wanted him to experience it.
Right.
So I took him on our first big trip together, and I was like, I did this for you.
I have questions.
Yes.
Did he put out since you took him on this big trip? Did you take his passport?
I love Natalie telling this story. Makes me feel like she still holds this trip over Joe's head. Like, yeah, but remember when I took you to Spain?
Yes.
On our first vacation.
A lot of these modern women, man, I was listening to a woman the other day give her list of demands, and you're like, you don't really understand what life is about. You're going to have a hard time getting what you want in life. Modern women have become so comfortable with making demands, some of which don't even make a whole lot of sense. And then when the demands don't get met, oh, men just can't rise to the occasion. Does a man even want to rise to the occasion?
There is a story going so viral right now because of this man called into a show. The show has millions of followers, streams on every social media platform with sheer audacity. Complete delusion in his situation, all right? This man starts talking like an absolute victim. He talks about how he left his wife, blindsided her. He used the word blindsided, of 7 years to move in with a coworker that he was messing around with. He and the coworker move in together after, I don't know, messing around for a couple of months, which is crazy in itself, but, you know, stay with me. She has a baby by somebody else, right? She's still involved with the baby dad. He's describing the baby dad like a devoted father, really great guy. As a family, she and the baby daddy aren't together, I guess, and they're celebrating holidays separate, like twice with the kids. I don't know. But she's like really upset about it. Baby daddy moves into the house. So now it's him, his coworker girlfriend, and her baby daddy living all under the same roof. Then one day she just comes up to him and says, you know, it's just really awkward with all of us together, and me and the baby daddy are going to work it out, and I just can't do this anymore. So, you know, you go figure it out. You have to go. Here's what's crazy. The guy who left his wife and moved in with his coworker, he moves in with her, and he is doing the most to keep the relationship afloat. He agrees to have that other guy come in and move in with them, which is crazy. He is putting in all the effort to pursue this woman, look after the baby that's not his. He's doing everything to make this lady happy. And then he admits on the show that if he had put in that amount of effort into his marriage, then he wouldn't have been where he ended up. So he drives off into a rest area. He's darn near ready to, you know, unalive himself. Calls up his wife, his estranged wife, and says, you know, just look at my location on Google Maps. I'm just letting you know where I'm at. Here's what happened. You know, I don't know how I'm feeling right now. I just wanted you to know where I was. So she's concerned. She's upset. But he's calling into the show to ask for advice on how to get his wife back. After all that he's put her through, he wants to know how he can get her back. Now, the guy running the show, super professional, because I would have laughed the entire time. I would have been like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Is this the first time he told the story out loud? Because ain't no way. No. Couldn't be me, no. I don't have advice for you. You go to therapy. You go heal. Leave that lady alone. All right?
A lot of these modern women don't really understand that they have bad attitudes. They have terrible attitudes. And so when a man decides, oh no, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, what they actually mean is, you don't have any juice. There's nothing coming out. It's just dry. It's bitter. It's old. It's spoiled. It's dried up. There's nothing coming from this fruit. You look at it, it's shriveled up. You just throw it in the garbage. This is not good.
Y'all see how pretty I am? I'm sweet. I'm very smart. I read. I work. I'm very soft. I cook. I clean. And I am not married. But it's not that I don't need a man for nothing. No, I need a man. I was created. I'm a helpmate. I can't wait to be that. But the mistake that I made And the mistake that a lot of you are making, once you lay down with them, it's good as dead. And a lot of us don't know that. A lot of us didn't know that. I didn't know that. Especially when you come from an environment where casual is the focus, casual is promoted. Yeah, you grow up doing that. I had plenty of good men. None of it ended with a ring. The moral of the story is, I don't care. You could be drop dead gorgeous. Do you see me? And if you saw me in person, if you met me in person, the energy is on 10. I'm everything. I'm married. Because I slept with him. So if you sleep with him, your looks ain't gonna get you there, big dog. Having a baby is just not gonna get you there. If you want a ring, the longer you can keep yourself out of a bed, your value, it goes up. It's not too late. It's not too late to start living like this and understanding this. But the first thing is repentance. You gotta go ahead and make that vow. You gotta say, I'm not gonna fall victim to premarital ever again. You've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. So commit to getting to the other side of what it really means to allow God to bring love into your life. That's possible. I come from an environment where I didn't see marriages. I didn't see healthy relationships. I didn't understand that was a possibility. But now that I know that it is, it's my responsibility as an adult to act differently, to make different choices. Your looks just not gonna get you there. You're beautiful. But that's not what it's about. Think about it.
A lot of these modern women, they make all of these demands and have all of these lists. But then when a man does all these things, oh, well, he was boring. He wasn't exciting enough. It's okay to lead a good guy, that type of stuff. And now you go out there and you get used and abused, pumped and dumped. And now you're trying to slink over that back to him. Working at the Dollar Tree. Can you send me $5? Please. Oh, thank you so much for the $5. Oh, I've been thinking about you. Did you get the $5? Oh yeah, I got the $5, but I really don't want the $5. I was really thinking, can we talk? Can we sit down? No, I gave you $5 like you asked for.
I think that you have to be smart. I think marriage is a business.
This whole idea about the marital paperwork being the barrier to marriage. Yeah, I guess you can say we don't need the paperwork. We can be married in our hearts. Okay. But it's just selective, right? Because nothing else in life would we put so much investment on without some type of paper to validate our commitment to it, or our ownership of it, or our agreed partnership. House, I want my deed. You know what I'm saying? Car, the degree from the school. Like, these are things that shows this actual commitment. So I think it's tricky when you get into the subject of saying, oh, marriage is, I just don't want the paperwork, if that's not how you live the rest of your life. Do you live the rest of your life without paperwork? And if not, I can see why someone would be questioning of that. Like, why is it only different when it comes to marriage, but when it comes to real estate, you got all the paperwork. When it comes to a business deal, you got all the paperwork. But when it comes to marriage, we don't want no paperwork. So if you are a person that just anti-paperwork, because let me tell you something, the government has the paperwork. The deed to your house, they need proof down there too.
Period.
Your driver's license, the government. So like, it's kind of selective. It's selective.
At some point in time, respect needs to be at the forefront when you're trying to get to know a man, when you're trying to date a man. Y'all know how to respect somebody because you take your silly behind up there to the job site and you respect your boss, regardless of if they respect you or not. You take your little narrow behind up there to your little church function and you listen to what the pastor says, but then you get home and your husband ain't got no jurisdiction over you. Your husband can't say nothing. Once again, I understand if the man is doing you wrong and he acting crazy with you. I get it. Ain't nobody telling you to go into a situation like that. But y'all don't be doing or even complying or even cooperating is really the word that I'm looking for. Y'all are not good team players. A man said, oh, I want to go over here and check this out. Oh, why would you ever want to do that? Nagging and complaining the whole time. But then when you want to go do something, he got to shut up and go over there with you. What?
I wonder if there's anything that I've realized is that marriage is not for the woke. Marriage requires you to have a certain level of foolishness in you. People should look at you in marriage, doing marriage, and say, it can never be me. Then you know you're on the right track. There's a scripture that says, the gospel is foolishness to those who are perishing. People should look at you and see foolishness. Look at how you do marriage with your spouse and see foolishness. The moment people start approving, know that you're doing something wrong. Because woke people are in it to benefit. Woke people are not there to be serving. They are there to be served. Woke people. Woke people are not about sacrificial love. They're about choosing themselves. Woke people are there for as long as it's in their convenience. The moment it inconveniences them, they're out. Yes, they can get married, but staying married is very slim for woke people. You know, my pastor said to my husband when we got married, he said, before people say your wife is controlling you, know that you have not loved that woman. Before people say your wife controls you, know that you have not loved that woman. Before your friends say that your wife gave you love potion, know that you have not loved that woman. Before they call you a simp, know that you have not loved. Before they call you a pygmy, know that you have not loved your husband. Marriage is literally not for the woke. Marriage requires humility. It requires obedience. It requires selflessness. Minding the business of the other spouse. And the other spouse minds your business. Putting them first before yourself. That's marriage. And woke people are not capable of doing that. Yeah.
When you break up with your girl after 3 weeks not speaking to you, break up with your girl, she's at the gym already with a whole nother man. Are angry, are miserable.
People always seem surprised when the girl moves on quick. It's because fella was never knew. You just never knew. Stay woke in the streets like big brother.
Ladies, this is proof that good men still exist. It is story time. About 2 weeks ago, I matched with this guy on Bumble. Super attractive, tattoos, very strong, works out a lot. Our first date, we went out for a walk. We got coffee. We took my dog for a walk and we just chatted about life and each other and we got to know each other a little bit. We only had one date until a week later, my dog started to get sick one day and I have no idea how. So we were talking about it and my dog has a holistic healer or holistic doctor that I use for him. And she was saying, so he's not feeling good. I suggest that you get him unpasteurized, like raw goat milk. And apparently it's illegal in Massachusetts to exchange money for raw goat milk unless you're just giving it away for free. And I had no idea that this was a thing in Massachusetts. I also had no idea you could feed a dog unpasteurized raw goat milk to help them feel better. So I'm telling him about it. I'm looking everywhere for this goat milk that I can get. And he was saying, oh, my neighbor actually has goats and she can do this for you and she won't charge you because it's illegal when you actually charge for it. Y'all, when I tell you I've been on one date with this man, he went to this house, spoke to this lady for an hour about my dog, got me goat's milk, brought it to my house, and gave it to my dog. This is the same man that I told y'all about last week, how he was walking on the outside of the street and doing all these gentleman-like things that I had never experienced before. And keep in mind, I just have been going through my healing journey the past 2 years. This is why I tell you that who you are as a woman is what you're attracting. Because I told him last night, I was saying I would have never attracted you 2 years ago because I just was not healed. I didn't love myself as much as I love myself now. And we went out for drinks. He was telling me how confident I seemed, how that was his favorite thing about me. Of course, we were attracted to each other, but he was saying, I just love that you seem so confident and sure about yourself. I barely know this man. The second date, he goes out and gets my dog something that I couldn't even find and brings it to him. There are so many good men out there that you are attracted to, that you will be attracted to, that are going to give you every single thing that you want. Now, am I going to date this man? I have no idea. However, the things he's doing in general are showing me that there are so many good men out there, again, that you are attracted to, but you have to do the work on yourself to attract these high value men. But this is your story to just show you that it's not one thing or the other. It's not super attractive and, doesn't work on themselves or their mindset or goes to therapy, or unattractive and focuses on mindset. You can have both, but you have to continue to heal and work on yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, you can always reach out to me. But this is your story to let you know it is hopeful.
If I was a guy, I'd be so scared to be in a relationship in America because they are willing to be traditional, but the women are not. And they get nothing in return for their money, their time, or their resources. And the girl ends up cheating or not willing to cook or make a sandwich. And it's just, I'm so happy I'm not a man.
The reason that you have a lot of these guys now saying that they don't want to be in relationships and they don't want to date and it's not worth it to them is just because it's like, I'm giving you what you're asking for. I'm giving you what you say when you need. And then when it comes to me asking for what I need, you're just like, no, right? You're just not willing to do it.
I get hundreds of DMs like this every day asking questions like this, so I might as well just do a video. Right. The thing you need to understand, and I've said this in my videos so many times, men get so much validation from speaking to women. Okay? This is why a lot of men pay to speak to women on the phone. Okay? Men get validation from women. They get validation from how many women they can gain access to. So they're conditioned to be this way, okay? When they grow up, when they're in school, this is how they prove their worth, okay? Oh, how many girls' numbers did you get? Oh, how many girls' numbers did you get? Oh, you got this girl to like you? Oh, you hooked up with this girl? It's a big ego boost for them. They get validation from this. We do not get any validation or anything from interacting with men because we do not actually have a natural, insatiable desire for men. Men have an insatiable desire for women and they can't actually, they can't control that. Most men are just very lustful. They can't control it, okay? Some, they learn self-control, but it's a very small percentage of those men. I would say probably like 5%. And where are those men? They're non-existent. So, men get immense validation from speaking to women. They get a massive ego boost from speaking to a woman like you. So, you're asking, why is somebody speaking to me? Why is somebody texting me all the time? But why are they speaking to me but they're not planning dates? Because you allow him to. You have to understand, women seek connection. Women go out seeking connection. Men go out seeking access. There is a big difference here. This is why I tell you guys you need to be very transactional. If a man is intentional about you, you're going to know it. Okay? You have to understand, you do not ever give free access to men. You don't. That means don't be texting men. Don't be falling asleep on the phone to these men, especially if you don't know a man. Why are you giving a man so much of your energy and you've never even met him? You need to stop doing that. You need to stop texting men, okay? Men will follow your lead, okay? I know you think that they're in control. They're not in control. They have absolutely no control about nothing. We run the show. We always have, okay? Because they do not have the emotional capacity that we have. So we will always be ahead of the game than they are. But you need to listen and you need to learn that this is a game. You see this guy that is speaking to you, he's playing a game. He's playing it very well because you're falling for it. You're falling for it. If a man does not ask you on a date within 24 to 48 hours of speaking to you, bin. You're not there to perform and you are not there to prove your worth to anybody. If he does not ask you on a date within 24 to 48 hours, he's not intentional and he's not serious, and he wants a pen pal. He wants a cool girl. You are not a cool girl.
Did you know that these famous men practiced celibacy at one point or another? Because I definitely didn't. While filming the movie Silence, Andrew Garfield was celibate for several months in 2016. Not only was he celibate, but he was also fasting. So on a podcast, Andrew revealed that for a period of time, he was experiencing some pretty wild and trippy experiences. Terry Crews revealed to E.T. that he had a 90-day fast with his wife, Rebecca. He said that what was beautiful about it was that it took him to a time when he was 12 years old, liked a girl, and didn't know anything about sex. At first, Terry thought that the fast was going to be horrible, but later said that it was the best thing we had ever done. Justin Bieber was celibate for 1 year. In 2019, he told Vogue that he had a legitimate problem with sex and decided to abstain so he could get closer to God. Justin said, "I think sex can cause a lot of pain. Sometimes people have sex because they don't feel good enough, because they lack self-worth." And honestly, what Justin said can be very true. No matter the reason for practicing celibacy, if you learned something new today like I did, comment down below.
So Shorty went on a date and she found out the hard way.
I was on a date with this guy the other week, and on the date, he made me pay for every other drink that we got that night. Not just my drink, his included. And if I'm on a date and I have to pull out my card, I'll pull out my card. Boo boo, I will pay. But just know there will not be a second date, okay? So I basically expressed to him, I was like, look, I've never had to pay for anything ever on a first date. Drinks, food, whatever. I feel like the man always takes care of it, and that's kind of just what I expect. To me, it's just the chivalrous thing to do. I think if you are a man, you will take care of the woman on the first date. And when I told him this, he verbatim replied, "You're not my bitch. Why would I pay for you?" And then followed that up with, "Sounds like you need to get your money up." What? Going celibate, abstinent, whatever. I need like a lobotomy after that. What is going on?
The first thing I got to say is whoever homeboy is, he is not from Arizona, Phoenix, wherever she's at. Right off the bat, she seems insufferable, entitled as and then on a first date, you know, telling someone, yeah, you know, the dude's supposed to pay for everything. Like, you coming off mad ill. And once you start seeing those super red flags, granted, those are her preferences, but now it's my preference to be like, all right, bet you could pay for the rest of the drinks or whatever the case may be. Because if I see this date going nowhere, you know, I'm gonna wrap up whatever I had. So as far as paying for a date, my rule is if I ask you, I'll pay. And yeah, I think, you know, a dude is supposed to pay for dates, but at the same time, after so many dates, you can see where this is going, especially if the chick never offers to pay at all. I've been on dates where I've gone a few rounds and shorty's like, hey, no, I'll take the third round. A dude hears that, ooh, it's a whole different ball game. You know, appreciation goes a long way, especially to a dude. This chick right here just doesn't seem like that type. She does seem a little insufferable, and she's obviously single with these same chivalrous thoughts or whatever. It hasn't done nothing for her, and whoever was with her thought she wasn't worth it. So now the homie is way ahead of the game, you know, telling her you're not. He not wrong. You not. There's levels. When you become my shorty, there's perks that come with that. And obviously into marriage, there's more perks that come with that. Yeah, man, she learned the hard way. That attitude sucks. But in all, homie told you, get your money up.
A lot of these modern women don't understand. You're not going to continue to get chased forever. That man, instead of chasing you, oh, he, this is fun for me. It's not fun for me. Let me go chase a vision. Let me go chase hobbies. Let me go chase my passion. Let me go get this money. And now all of a sudden, now what do we have? Well, you know, men don't really approach women anymore. Maybe we should do a documentary on the manosphere. Maybe we should do a documentary on the red pill and how it's destroying our young men's minds. And whew, I don't know if I want them to be that way. Dear sir, dear ma'am, have you talked to your sons about, hey, this is a healthy way to interact with women. Now, when a young lady does this, depending on your age, this is what you do. Don't let nobody bully you around. You don't got to be disrespectful, but you don't have to take nothing from nobody either. Right? Oh, look, son, why are you watching this type of stuff? Well, I just feel like X, Y, and Z. Okay, so let's talk about these problems. A lot of times, they want to sit up here and demonize the whole entire space instead of saying, these guys over here are pretty extreme. Don't listen to those guys. But this guy over here, he was saying some pretty good stuff, right? I might not agree with his delivery, but yeah, he might have been a little extreme in his title or the clip is not indicative of all women, but you know what? If this is something that you're struggling with, let's have a conversation. Instead of, you know, I think it's very cowardly. Instead of a lot of these filmmakers use men as props. They use them as props, and they say, okay, you know, we're going to shed light on the whole space, and we're going to say, oh, they're terrible. And people be trying to, and I was watching a Netflix documentary that they did, Louis, whatever his name is, did. And once again, while you do have some people who are acting silly, you need to start listening to what they're saying and said, okay, let's separate. Like my dad used to say, let's eat the meat and throw the bones away. Okay, he's doing a lot over here. He shouldn't be doing. We're not going to look at that. Okay, let's focus on why you're doing what you're doing, why he's saying that, whatever his experience is, and then really saying, okay, well, you know, that's fair. I can see how you'd be frustrated by that. But instead, like I said, as cowards, they sit up here and say, oh, well, you know, that's not true. You're just misogynistic. No woman does this and all that other stuff. So it's okay. Well, you can get out of my house. Right? You don't need to come over here bothering me. And then you're over here trying to demonize a whole group of people, and you didn't listen to what they said. Well, why y'all keep on? We did a documentary on you. We shamed you. Why you keep on going the way we told you not to go? We shamed you. We insulted you. We took all of your resources away. Why you keep on going over there? Come and submit to what we got going on. Come and get underneath our thumb. Come and get underneath our rule. No, I'm not freaking doing it. You need to listen to what I told you the first time before you got behind that camera and start being a coward about it and go ahead and solve these problems. I'm not going to be a part of your stupid society if you're not going to listen to what I'm saying to you. I'm going to go, oh, well, are you anti-social? No, I'm going to go do my own thing. I don't got to interact with people that don't like me. And I'm not going to do it. The heck out of my face.